address, our previous.
We can start now?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Which camera am I looking at?
Good enough.
Whichever
one you want.
Didi. It's still fuck you, brother, but I love you. I love you. Still love you, brother.
You said you can't barber.
Huh? I've been watching Didi since time, man. Are you serious? You said that?
I mean, you're going to see the episode.
You got the nerve to tell me that.
That's why I tried calling you, to make sure you were aware.
And when he did his squad, he knows his squad too. And it was my squad, it didn't look too nice for his squad. And he knows that too. He's good for a couple of highlights.
Who was his squad? Wade,
Bryson,
Didi,
Newt.
Okay, yeah.
Me, Liv, Andy.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah.
My squad used to give Didi's squad the business, and we give y'all the business too.
Wait. Don't do that, because John Jay, my squad was looking real nice. We didn't lose that game.
John Jay,
Right,
that's home court for me. I don't really lose.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that.
We'll see John Jay another day.
Get better. So afterwards, we went to a family-owned restaurant.
Yes.
Very good, by the way.
Oh yeah. Let me sing their praises.
Yeah, that was
real
black
everybody
rice.
knows me as the alkaline guy. I do eat alkaline on a regular basis. Every now and then I cheat. When I do, I would recommend the Haitian spot.
Paradise, baby.
Okay.
Yes, please. Oh, yo, I was so happy that you had that because I know I've been slacking off.
Oh, man.
It's been a while. You're like, yo, how come you never brought me your plate? I'm like, damn. And
I had a lot of swipe ups. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to
that picture, that plate, that shit, I was like,
yeah.
She was like, Uber picture.
But we saw it and we were like just seeing how you were able to walk in and kind of interact. It's your family.
Yeah,
it's not like it's your friend, distant friend. Like, oh, I haven't seen you. Like you immediately was telling your cousin, like, oh, did you call so and so?
Yeah.
I'm about to go in the back and talk to so and so while y'all do this. Like, what is that? What is that feeling that you get from?
I call it doing my rounds, bro. You gotta do your rounds and check up on your family. I feel like that's always key. It's like I be going ghost too sometimes. I just be working on mad shit. Sometimes you just
Is this like a Kodak thing? Like,
no, we just get ahead of ourselves and sometimes we just don't even forget where we are.
Trying to go, man.
Yeah, we just trying to go, and to the point that like my uncle, he will call me like 15 times, leave a voicemail, and I'll be like, damn, I really gotta check on this. Like my aunt, I haven't seen her in that long, so when I went to I'm like, yeah, she's moved back. I'm right back there. I haven't seen Fab since Thanksgiving, I think. Yeah. We just, I think that's what it is now. We're always just busy. We never actually like live in the now and want to see, check up on them. And that's why it's big to just see everybody, see how everybody doing. Just like balancing it out. That's why when we hoop, I feel like it's great because it's a great balance. It's I bet because I haven't seen y'all last time you pulled up, but it's like it's very rare. So I try to take advantage of it because one, it's therapeutic. Two, this is what we did this growing up as kids playing ball, so it's always a good time when we hoop. Although it's competitive, it's part of the game.
it's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun.
Exactly.
It's fun. But we need that healthy competition where it's not just we're competing with each other in life. Trying to, Bayonne just cop this. I bet I'm gonna cop that.
Yes.
And I'll make sure I go to where I know where he be at, so you can see that I cop this. It's like no, we as men, I feel like too, like we need that release chemically in our brains to kind of survival of the fittest. I think we talked about on yesterday's, just in the sense of like just testing yourself. Like Bayonne's a test. I hate to admit it sometimes, but on the court you
It's
test.
very rare that you pass that test.
No, I passed a couple times.
Well, no witness when that switch comes. It's always cool.
Anyway, we're not going to entertain this man past a certain point about that, but because I won. But yeah, I feel like it's healthier, and there's not enough of that where I can invite or tell a couple of my little cousins or younger compadres like, yo, come out and do this or come out and come play this and third, and just like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, yo, you're like 20 years old, you're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Come out.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, this COVID thing has everybody just locked in their own little world. It was just a lack of communication with just everybody. It was so weird if you think about it. That's why I feel like it's always important. Like, I think with you, you're perfect with that because, like, although sometimes we don't speak, you'll hit me up randomly like, yo, bro, I hope all is well. Yeah. And, like, you ain't trying to be stuck in whatever you was going through yesterday, or even like I feel like what do they say now? You never want to be stuck in the same situation you were from last year. If you want, like you're not progressing if you're still in the same spot. And when you was like, yo, like make sure you're like on it. I feel like things like that they stick. It's like that's what pushes me. It's like all right, bet I can't be here another year. I can't. So I be trying to figure shit out. Like although it sucks because you just be trying to get this shit now. That's why everybody be quitting because it's the process is cute. But once that fan stops, you start struggling. Then that's when it gets real. That's when a lot of people really give up. It's when that fan hits. It's like yeah, I can't do this anymore. And you probably passed. You could be at like 95%, but that fan was just that deep. That scar was just that deep. I always say that, man. When people say certain things, like it sticks. Like my cousin Lex also like one time he's like, yo, I just gotta talk to you. I'm like, what's up? He's like, yo, listen. We're not regular people. Like, we're kings, bro. Like, don't settle. Like, don't lower your standards because you feel like you have to. The grind is a whole bunch of sacrifices, and I feel like when he told me that, I was like, yeah, like, I gotta figure something. That's why I'm saying I do not want to work for corporate for long. Don't. Because, yo, bro, you could be here today, and they're like, yo, honestly, you're cool and all, but I'm going to cut you tomorrow. Yo, bro, and then, like, think about it. No matter how hard you work, they're just going to add you to extra work with the same pay.
Yeah.
And at first, I thought I was like, oh, I'm about to body this shit. They give me extra work, but then you're not really rewarding yourself. They just give you more work to keep you occupied.
Yeah.
With the same salary.
Yeah.
But what am I doing here? Like, I mean, I'm pretty much bodying what you like. I'm doing what you do now, and you're my manager?
Exactly.
Come on,
exactly. Man. You talked about, Alex reaching out and, keeping that brotherhood together.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I also started doing as well, making sure that, I don't know how much I've done it with you, but just every now and then I like to, when you think about somebody, actually reach out and send them a quick text.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that a lot of times, like, oh, I got to text this person, or I haven't spoken to him in a while, but I really think about people on a daily basis. Like, I'll think about you just like right down the court, like we see a basketball court, like, oh yeah, I got to get Bayonne buckets. So I say, I got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, something like that, and it's real life, because I really give you buckets, but,
What's about one of that?
So, along those, I think it is important, with the texting, with the playing basketball, like, these things really do help keep the brotherhood strong and it keeps it together because that's all it really takes. All it really takes is like for somebody to like reach out and say, we were talking about Didi the other day and yesterday, and then you said, oh yeah, going to Didi, all right, bet. Tell him,
Good.
And you like, yo, when this guy disappears, like when he goes underground, Like you makes you, and you said specifically, it make you even think like, yo, did I do something to you?
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
But that's how you feel after somebody disappears after a while, because it's like, yo, the connection is not there. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And you think back on it, you're like, nah, you get in your right mind. You're like, nah, I ain't do nothing to him, and so I know he's just probably off doing him or whatever, but. It do put you in that space where things don't feel as comfortable. So it's nice to, reach out. And how important do you think that is for us to, reach out and make sure? How much do you think that is important for the community, for your family? You said making your rounds. Is that something that you were taught, or do you think it's just important?
I learned that myself, bro. Because me, you knew me in high school. I was a quiet dude. I barely spoke. But as I got older and I just started seeing things like, yo, like, the more you're by yourself and you're just hurting yourself even more because, like, yo, like, somebody can say a joke and that can just tell you something. It can change you, bro. Like, that's why, like, when we play ball, you're not thinking about no problems. You're not thinking about no bills. You're not thinking about anything. You're laughing. You're just having a whole, like, you're in a different zone.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a whole different zone. And I just feel like things like that are just really important. As far as, like, when I do my rounds, it's like, I make sure I do it because, like you said, like, we don't know what somebody's going through. Like, I always feel like it's important to say, how are you? How's everything? Like, if it's, like, obviously we're not going to always be great. This is life. I always say, like, I tell my girl, I'm well. It's just a balance for me because I'm not going to always be on my high. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's always, I mean, it's always good if somebody's like, when somebody says like, "Oh, I'm all right," I want to know like, what can you do to try to see like something I can help you with, because I generally care. So I just feel like things like that is important because people sometimes they just go so fed up and try to do things by themselves, where it's like, yo, you have a whole team, and I feel like as us as kings in general, like we as kids you were taught you gotta do this. Every social media, for that's yo, if you don't do this yourself, you're weak. But like, yo, bro, if we do this shit together, we kill a lot of things. We strive, yo, I'm telling you, if we're together, it's crazy.
It's very different.
It's crazy. They look at you like, yo, this is nuts. This is nuts.
Speaking of which, me and Alex talked about yesterday how, you know, it was great to see you go in and, you know, have that connection with your family at the spot and everything. But I was saying, you know, even before that, when we went to the gym, like, you wasn't coming there with people that you didn't know. You wasn't coming there. You came there with your family. And this is something that you do on a regular, like, your family, y'all family, people know who y'all are and how y'all are connected because y'all roll around together. They know what it is when they see y'all together. So when you say, hey, you know, it's different when we do things together. Again, I asked the question, were y'all as a family forced to keep close together, or was it like, yo, we just need to be close? Like,
nah, as a family, we were close. Like, I'm saying, like, that's how basketball really started. Basketball and soccer. It's literally family.
Kids growing up.
Yeah, like, my uncle used to play soccer in South was it Northeast, is it? Northeast.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And that's how soccer started with my family. Although they said I wasted my Bayonne legs yesterday. Like, basketball is another thing. Like, when my cousin's block was a dead end. You know, we can't be in the streets like that, but a dead end is slick because there's not a lot of cars. So it was war there. I mean, at first I wasn't getting picked up because I couldn't dribble, so I was in my backyard. Like, I got to stop double dribbling. And from there, that's how basketball started. And that's what kept us really together. From manhunt, basketball, tag,
so
like that.
So you said, so your family, so you started playing soccer more so than you were playing basketball when you started out.
Well, because, yeah, my family. Well, I didn't really start playing soccer. I mean, I played a little bit with my uncle and stuff, but it was like baby stuff. My other cousins, though, they play soccer.
Because I feel like when you're on the court, like, you don't, your foot movements are very different than everybody else. Like, you run really choppy, you run real, like, quick, like, it's not like you're taking wide strides, like, it almost seems like you're running at a different, like, you're just running different. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's Bayonne legs, bro.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm gonna give
because he does chop his legs before, like.
It's different, yeah. It's very different.
You're right.
Yeah, man. I tell you, Bayonne legs are different.
Okay, so you said it's important to make your rounds. Let me ask you about this, because another part of us, as we go older, people move away. Like, I moved to Houston, Alex moved to Houston, Chris is moving to Houston.
Yeah.
We're trying to get him. We're trying to get him. You coming too? You know what I'm saying? Nah, but has anybody from your family like moved to another state, another country, whatever the case may be? And
yeah, I mean, I got family in VA. I got a sister in Delaware. Got some family in Florida. I mean, there's some Bayonnes in Florida, Atlanta. So.
And I have to ask you, how the hell did you, out of all the Bayonnes, get the Bayonne name?
Yo.
Yeah. How did,
it's a few people I gotta talk to. It's you, it's Isaiah Stewart. Everybody calls him Stu, and the other Stu. They don't call any other, the rest of them Stu. They call them two Stu. The two that look just alike. Y'all know
which
what
one
Isaiah Stewart
as rough, though?
And Jonathan's, huh?
Who's rough in the Ruffin family?
Well, they're both rough.
Just whoever you're around at the time.
Exactly. So the older people started calling them rough, and I call them rough. But I feel like you're the only one.
Yeah,
that gets called Bayonne. Like, even when we went to the spot yesterday, your cousin was like, "Yo, Bayonne." He was calling you Bayonne.
Crazy, like, so this is how it happened. Shout out Mr. Chaplin.
Mr. Chaplin. Chap.
So
Okay.
he called me Bayonne and JV. And from there, it was the summertime, and that's when everybody was playing ball. And my cousins from the VA, they all came down. And we were hooping. And they, all Copac came through. And they're like, oh, it's my guy Bayonne. My cousins, obviously my cousins.
Yeah, too.
They're like, I'm Bayonne too. Like, what are you talking about? So then they see me go, what's up? My cousin in the group chat like, yo, they call you Bayonne at school? I was like, yeah. But your name is... I was like, yeah. Yo, to the point that, like, everybody has a nickname. Like, Bayonne has just been skyrocket ever since, bro. Like, my cousins call me Bayonne. My uncle be like, Bayonne. I'm like, yo, bro, like... I'm like, what's your first name? They're like, I thought your first name was Bayonne. I'm like, nah. My actual name is Jonathan.
Yeah.
Like, really? I thought it was Bayonne. I'm like, no. You don't give me a first.
I think I called Bayonne Jonathan the first time I've seen him. I was like, oh, he's Jonathan. Okay.
Yeah, but like,
I haven't ever called him.
And then everyone was just calling him Bayonne. So I'm like, I'm about to call him.
it's Bayonne. It's Bayonne.
And I didn't know until I think I heard it was something to do with your sister. Like I either heard them call her name on the announcements or something along the lines where I heard them say Christina Bayonne.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute.
And the thing is, Gil and Fab were there, and they were like, yo, I don't know this dude. Like, who? Here comes me with the skinny dude with the glasses, like, yeah, what's up, y'all? What's going on? And it's like, they call you Bayonne? I'm like, yeah. From there,
oh, man.
Yeah, bro, I don't remember the last time somebody's called me by my first name.
Basketball.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Basketball changed his name.
Yeah.
You don't have a first name no more. You have one name.
Yeah.
You have a brand. That's what it is.
Seriously, and the thing is, the only thing that's funny about it is that, like I said, with the nicknames, like, you can just call me Bayonne. When they be like, yo, Bay, I'm like, nah, you don't gotta do that. Don't do that. You be playing ball. They be like, yo, Bay, pull out the gun. I'm like, damn, that's what I said. Why we always gotta cut things short? Just call me Bayonne. Like,
Call me Bayonne. You got Wade. You got Kevin Johnson. You know, these list of guys. And
Oh, yeah,
you know,
Kevin did play.
you go down this list and you say, all right, you know, you hit them up. Yo, you want to play? Yo, you want to play? Some guys, you know, this guy Didi, he retires every 6 months, so you don't know if he wants to play, he doesn't want to play. Bayonne, I was shocked because Bayonne, 2 years older than me, right?
Yep.
So 2 years older than me, and me and Bayonne, because of that 2 year difference, we didn't really, and he just said he was quiet. I was, unless we were really close from young, I didn't really talk. I wasn't really an outgoing person, so.
Janelle, those runs brought people together.
They definitely did.
That's how I seen you a lot. And now this dude's lefty shoot over here.
So that, you know, the basketball was the connection, but we went through time where we didn't spend a lot of time together. We definitely didn't spend any time outside of school or outside of the basketball court together until I remember like it was yesterday. Thanksgiving Eve, we used to all go to the Bulldog.
Oh my God, what a vibe.
We used to all go to the Bulldog. If you're from Copac, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody from Copac is at the Bulldog Thanksgiving Eve. And it was one Thanksgiving Eve we were there. I saw you and I'm like, yo, this is my guy, Bill. Because he was always like a guy who I always looked up to guys who were nice at something, who were like good at something, but didn't really gloat about it. Yeah. Like guys, like I seen you on the basketball.
I'm getting old, but nah, I appreciate that. Bro.
Nah, I really looked up to guys. You, Nasha, like guys who like y'all went under the radar. Like y'all came, did y'all thing, put y'all work in, and y'all went about y'all business. So I really respected you and looked up to you as a guy. And then they almost praised you as a guy, like, you know, like, yo, Bayonne is the stopper. Like, yo, you want to get a stop here? We gonna throw Bayonne on that lock. I don't know what happens when it comes to me, but you know, we gonna change that subject anyway. So so this is the guy that so I looked up to that fame and that you know, and it didn't go to your head. And you still remain humble, you still remain a cool, good dude. So when I seen you, I'm like, oh, Bayonne. And you, like, showed me love. And it was, like, the first time outside of a basketball court where we connected. And we sat, I remember we sat there and we
laughing for mad.
So we were there for like an hour straight.
I'm like, how are you?
You know, the music mad loud, so we just screaming, dying, laughing. So yeah, that was the first time, and then ever since then it was like, all right, bet. Whether it was hooping at the park, hooping at the league, like I hit Bayonne up, like, yo, what's good, what you doing, and then we connected from that point on. So to bring it back to the podcast and why we all here, I know you spoke about that being a focal point of, you growing up and all of these things. So like, I feel like we're trying to make it a community.
Mm-hmm.
It's lacking that community vibe, that community feeling, and that's what I felt when I seen you with your cousins and your family at the gym, and then at your restaurant.
Rounds, because I haven't seen Living that long too. I forgot that.
So when I see that to me is community. Going around and going to your local grocery store, your local down the block. This person know you, that person know you. You saying what's up, you giving that, you doing this, you doing that. Whereas now, we kind of lost that feeling where people just go. Some people don't even know their neighbors. They don't speak to their neighbors. They don't do this. They don't do that. They don't make those connections. So
that's New York. I feel like that's why Texas is probably people are just mad nice. Are they nice? New York is rude.
Houston is a mix. It's like the New York City of Texas, I would say.
When you hold the door, do they say like, "Thank you"?
Yeah.
I'll say thank you.
New York, I'll tell you.
So that New York vibe, I guess, got into, but Long Island, I felt was a little different. Like when I was growing up in Long Island in the 40s, when I was young, it was more of a community aspect. Like I knew all the people on the block. You knew these people over here. You knew the highest over there. You knew this person. You knew that person. Now that we've gotten older, things have changed. The community, the area has changed. So. Do you feel that is something because I feel that is something that's seriously lacking, and I think that has a big problem. That's a big problem, and that's something that has to do with why we're not advancing or why we're not getting to where we need to get to, because everybody's feeling like they got to do it on their own. They don't know their neighbor. They're not asking their neighbor for help. Like, how do you feel about that? Am I reaching? No,
I don't think you're reaching at all. I just feel like now everybody's just really inside. Nobody's really, kids don't play outside anymore. I mean, besides them playing online, but I don't how like this metaverse is it really gonna? You're still like there's no face-to-face interaction with people. We really do lack that, and I feel like that's what you're right. We're really struggling with
figuring it out, and so I don't really realize how many people really go to therapy. And I'm talking to Didi yesterday in his episode, and he's like, "Yeah, I went and I was telling." He said that he was talking to his shorty. Everybody's gonna see the episode when it comes out, and it's gonna speak. But he was talking to his shorty, and she was like, "Yo, let's do this." He was like, "Nah, I'm not with that." But then also seeking it outside. Mm-hmm. While they're having that confrontation, he's going to get therapy outside of that. So it's like, I'm shocked at hearing some of the people like, I would never.
Yeah, bro. I mean, things got real.
I would never.
Yeah, man.
I don't want to make this, the Charlemagne the God therapy session all the time. Not at all. But it's just like interesting to hear because
it's been the common denominator.
I think exactly, and I feel like when these things are spoken about, we should how that thread keeps going. I think that I should highlight that.
Have you noticed the high character individuals who have all said that though? That they sought it out, like they sought out a solution instead of merely accepting where they might be at the present time.
You know what's so crazy about that is like you said the high character individuals. It wasn't like all of a sudden Bayonne was a high character individual. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden Didi was a high character individual. Right. You always, for me, been high character individuals.
Yeah, I'm saying.
So the fact that y'all said something is off. Let me get better. Let me get of more high character. Let me become a better person. Like,
I feel like, for me, the reason why I did it, because, like I said, I could be in a box and I zone out and I don't speak. I'd be trying to just figure things out by myself. Like, oh, you're better if you do it by yourself. But I realized I was just hurting myself, and I was like, yo, I need to figure something out for me. And even if you try to communicate that with your parents,
Yeah.
they don't. They kind of because they have their way. You know what I mean? And I feel
Absolutely.
like the only way to break that is to. I feel like therapy was a solution for me to try to break that for me myself because like we're like the new versions of our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole being by yourself and trying to figure it out. Like, I realized like I caught myself. I'm like, yo, that's like kind of what my dad does. He gets lonely and he doesn't want to speak to nobody. And I was like, I have to figure out a way to where I can break that. And as kids, we were always told, don't cry. I cried with my girl all the time. I'd be crying, bro. I cry. I have no problem crying.
I feel you.
I have no problem crying. But like, I feel like that's what helped me with the therapy was because I was able just to say what I had to say, and I didn't feel like, oh, like, I guess I believe in God. But my mom's like, Mom, I do pray to God. I love you, Mom. But maybe speaking to somebody could also help me too. You don't have to bring that down because your tool. That's your. Everybody has a different tool. You know what I'm saying? And like toxic tools would be drinking, taking drugs, going out, just doing this dumb shit to try to clear. You can only clear your mind from partying for so long, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then you drink some Henny, you got some rage, and like you can only do that for so long. Man. It's really like catching yourself and trying to break those key factors of because our parents probably had like you don't know what your parents went through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they probably had trauma themselves. I mean,
then that also gets passed on.
exactly.
And like, there's examples of trauma to where like you can have a feeling or a viewpoint of like just life, and it'll be from a family member that you never even met before.
Yeah.
And like scientifically, there's a couple of scientists who have went deep to see that there's a connection with that, which is why it's important to talk with your family about what have y'all been through, like directly. You don't have to go way out there and like look for your cousin, but directly, intermediate family. Like, has there been some type of social injustice to where we've had somebody be in a bad situation? Has there been something where we were down to our last because of one simple mistake? Like those type of moments and things are very important to talk about because later down the line, let's say you have children of your own, and you're like, why is my kid so angry all the time? I'm nothing like that. His mom is nothing like that. Where's this coming from? And then you just casually talk to your aunt or your mom and they tell you a story about this cousin of yours that passed away early. Oh yeah, he had anger issues.
Yeah. So total tiny good go TNT. Like, that can really cause beef because if it happened yesterday and I know I messed up and you're telling me how I messed up and your tone is like like, I don't know, it's just like I don't want to hear how you're saying it.
Yeah.
Rather like you give it a few days, it's like you can check upon them, hi, how are you? Like let me just pull up on you. Then you have the conversation. It doesn't have to be straight like that. Like for me, like I give 3 strikes though. That's my problem. I'm working on it. I'm trying to be better.
Okay, let's hear about it.
But like, it's a bad thing that I do it because I'm not letting them know what they're doing wrong.
You just count off the strikes.
It's bad.
I'm like, the system sounds like it works, but you know, tell them what they get the
exactly. And then that's when everybody be like, "You're a Gemini for that." I'm like, "Yo,
oh, you're a Gemini?
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
June 11th.
My God.
I give 3 strikes.
Brotherhood.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
You see?
Love it.
So you give 3 strikes.
Give 3 strikes. I'm trying to be better because I feel like it's important just to communicate with that person on what they did wrong and help them. Whereas I'm like, yo, and then they hit me up and then it's ghost time. It's really so flat. You can see me and I'm gonna walk right by it like I've never seen you.
Yo, this guy is cool.
That's bad. That's why I'm trying to be better at working.
Yo.
I mean, it sounds like you're just trying to keep the peace.
I am. That's what I'm saying because
we're being
I don't like the back and forth because sometimes people take things the wrong way and then it leads to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting. I mean, I ain't trying to die either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things like, it's like, that's another thing. So it's just like, keep the peace. So, but if I care about you, I feel like I should be able to tell you, like, listen, this is where you messed up.
How many strikes is Alex on?
Yeah, I told him about him yesterday. If I didn't say that about his fake, I almost dunked on you.
It wasn't an almost dunk on though. I said it could have been. Like, we're brothers.
I was about to be like,
I care about you. I care.
Oh my god!
I care about you.
I was like,
I didn't want you to go out
almost
like
dunk.
that.
I was like, it's all good though. It's all good though.
I didn't want you to go out like that, man.
Yo.
We already beat you once. If I did that, there's nothing you could have said for the rest of the year.
Yeah, if you would have dunked on me,
It was.
that would have been a highlight. I don't know what I would have said. I would have been real quiet.
I probably wouldn't have ate.
Nah, I would have gave you some food.
Okay.
I would have gave you some food. But I would have been the talk of the town on Twitter. I don't know how I made that. I would have been doing sign language next time.
Nah, I mean, yeah, okay, alright. Fair enough. I did push that a little bit.
But like, after the jokes get tired, I'm like, bro, how long you gonna call me this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what else you gonna say about me? Because nobody's really laughing in the room besides you.
Exactly.
And it's not funny. You know what I'm saying? So, of course it happens.
You're still working through this, huh?
Who,
That brought you up a little bit. That brought you
Yeah, that Urkel.
No, what was that? I know, yo, bro. I'm telling you, son. Like,
Can you call to a moment where you felt like, damn, they got me? Right?
yeah. I'll tell you with
Embarrassment,
tryouts, because I was the only dude with glasses, and I was frying. I was killing it. They was like, yo, Urkel's back. Like, I was cold. Like, for real. Like, this feels good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying what. I was quiet as hell. Quiet as a mouse.
Yeah.
Like, this was nice as bull. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. That's how shit happened. But then, like I said, I don't think kids are really bullied. Like, and I think bullying is a bad thing because I feel like now we live in a world that's just really sensitive. Like,
Very.
like cyberbullying. Like people are really like these kids are they're going through it, bro. Like, you don't.
Even with that, though, cyberbullying, can you or can you not?
You just take it away. 1,000%.
This is tough though, because if you go into a place,
Ah.
if you're going to a place where all of your friends, we already talking about how they lack social interaction off
Very
rip,
true.
and we know how much human beings need social
Right.
interaction. So if you're going to the place where the only place where you have social interaction, a little bit that you do have, there's an issue there, or somebody's trying to cyberbully you, then where else can you go? It's the only place that you have social interaction.
Yeah.
So you're going to turn that off? Now you're in a dark place.
So would you rather be in your feelings from someone you've never met? Well, I guess what you're saying is like in the moment you don't really realize that. Like you don't really
that
know
connection
the
is there.
scope
You're
of-
connected
You're
to
connected to it because
to that
this
thing.
is your only interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can understand from that perspective.
Now it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot easier for us to say, "Yo, just turn it off," because to us, turning it off is going outside and having a good time. We've been outside and had great times.
Yeah.
If you don't know going outside and having a good time, then
How
This
can
is
you
it.
know that that's an option?
so. Back to what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Um,
I think you put you bodied that. But like, I really feel like embarrassed. Nobody, like I said, nobody really wants to be embarrassed. Is that feeling? Because like I said, you don't know what that kid could be going through in his head because now he probably doesn't even want to be there. He doesn't want to be in the lunchroom if everybody's gonna make fun of him every day.
Right.
Somebody's gonna take his food all the time. He doesn't feel safe. So he'd rather just be in his own little world, playing his video games in his room, and he can say whatever he wants to. That's how he communicates in his room by himself. Whereas he's not outside kicking it with anybody.
Right.
Like you don't see basketball hoops in front of people's houses like that anymore.
it's crazy.
You don't see that. Like these kids are just like unless they play sports. Like
Then maybe you see that.
maybe
in the backyard.
that's the thing that can help is you get your kids more into just being involved in sports because they build a relationship with the other kids.
People think sports are just all teaching your kids to be competitive, but it's a lot of lessons.
That's a lot of
It's a
lessons.
lot of lessons. And I think the more I think kids who have been in organizations like CYL and PAL and any other organization that ends with an L, you learn certain things that not everyone's parents have the time and the abilities or even the knowledge to be the parents, like the perfect parents. And then that's when coaches come into play. That's when team moms come into play. Your mom might not know how to show love or take care or isn't nurturing.
That's a fact.
But then
it takes
team
a
mom is
village.
like, it takes a community.
Yeah.
It takes community.
It's a bar. Yeah, I got his body back.
We were getting better. It's getting real scary.
No, but that's how you really build it, though. Like, I really feel like things like that, even if it's dance class or whatever, like that's how people get to interact with one another. Because the way the things going now, I mean, the shutdown and stuff, but if they had kids that they played with before, they'll still be in communication with that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe, like play dates back in the day. I never did that.
I know what you mean.
I just went outside.
Yeah,
That
but
was
like,
a date.
yeah, and I feel like that's how you really met everyone. Even like me, CYL, so that's how I met people from other towns. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I played with you before. You know, like that's how things happen.
That's my connection with Bayshore.
Yeah, and I feel like
They sure.
kids don't have that at all.